Crystal Gem, and if you're new here, I do videos about music, TV shows, movies, books, fandom culture, etc. So let's get into this topic. Do African Americans need more representation? On TikTok, there is a creator that thinks that African Americans should be included more in the beauty space, and I want to say that isn't a bad thing to say, because I would say many beauty influencers that I watch are Caribbean or African, and I don't think it means that these people should be pushed out. And based on what African American users are saying on TikTok is that the way she delivered it or what she said came off as xenophobic. And for context, she made a quote talking about that African Americans need to take back the beauty space or something like that. I'm gonna just say this: she did clarify that she wanted AA or African American beauty creators included in the beauty space more, and I understand that Caribbeans and Africans don't think it's their fault for the lack of African Americans representation in the beauty space, which is true, but I think this conversation can be had without the xenophobic aspect of it, because I do think this conversation should be had, and I don't like how African or Caribbean people are trying to brush it off as it's not a big deal. But honestly, it is a conversation that doesn't really concern them, because the issue isn't with African or Caribbean people. It's not with them or whatever, right? It's a problem that we have in the African American community. Colorism is the issue, and I'm going to say for reference that Caribbean African beauty creators carry the representation for dark-skinned women in the diaspora. That is a problem, and I will say that is something that African Americans need to be accountable for. Dark-skinned African American beauty creators are never pushed, so dark-skinned African American viewers got to seek representation from African and Caribbean beauty influencers. And this discussion actually should be productive, because African Americans need to call colorism out. So I've been on TikTok looking for African American influencers that are brown skin and dark skin complexions, because it's hard finding these girls. Instead of engaging in xenophobic rhetoric on both sides, I want to give y'all some content creators to follow that are African American. And for the disclaimer, this doesn't mean that folks are not going to support Caribbean or African content creators in the beauty space. I'm simply highlighting my ethnic group and skin tone in the beauty space. Conversations like these should be taken seriously and shouldn't be discarded, because I actually find this conversation interesting and feel like the purpose of this conversation is valid. And I feel like this can do some good, but it also can do some harm, because we do have FBAs in the African American community, and a lot of them are a bit delusional and a bit nationalist and a bit xenophobic and anti-immigrant. There's really something wrong with those people. And given that in our political climate that everybody's turning conservative and all these things because of our current president, it's just showing that the election is having some major effects on our people, as in the black diaspora in America and like the African American community. And I would also like to say, before I get into my list of girls that I found, is that we also have to think about beauty companies. We also have to think about beauty companies as well, and like beauty companies or like skincare companies and stuff like that, on why is it that lighter skin complexion African American women are pushed more, and they receive like the PR, and like they are given chances and spaces at, like, how would I say it, they will be pushed and they will be at these beauty events. Why are these companies so comfortable with lighter skinned African American women beauty influencers being the representation for African Americans, but are comfortable with dark skinned Caribbean African women being at the table for the black beauty content creators? Let me say this. I know my stuff, my words. Let me say this. I seen a comment to one of my comments, and they mentioned that corporate or companies, especially companies that are directed in like beauty content and stuff like that, or like beauty products, why do they feel comfortable with light-skinned African Americans or mixed African Americans, but are comfortable with dark-skinned Africans and dark-skinned Caribbean girlies in the beauty content space? Like, dark-skinned Caribbean African women in the beauty content space can get a seat and get PR and get promoted and stuff like that, but dark-skinned African American women can't do the same. I'm not saying that we don't have any dark-skinned content creators that receive PR from companies and stuff like that, or being invited to events and stuff like that. I'm saying that we need more dark-skinned African-American content creators in the beauty space. And I feel like the original poster that made this conversation go viral on TikTok, they didn't want to say that it was colorism and that was the issue. They were trying to point it as that African-American people are being pushed out, or we're being erased by African and Caribbean people, which is not true. So let's get started with Yes, It's a Miracle. You can follow her at yes_it's a miracle. This girl only has 2,000 something followers, y'all. She got the same amount of followers I do on TikTok. So she's a new beauty influencer in the beauty influencer field. And so her being new, like, y'all should go support her and stuff like that, because she is of a darker complexion and she's a new beauty influencer girly. She's not like a OG in the field. So we also need to be supporting the newer content creators in the content space on TikTok, especially when it comes to black women in the content space, because there's not that many of us. I mean, I be on black TikTok, so there is a lot of us for real, but I do think y'all should go follow her and stuff like that. Next, we have Deb Hair and Beauty. You can follow her on TikTok at Life of Deb. She does hair content and makeup tutorials on her TikTok page. The next girl that we have is Janae. You can follow her on TikTok at Janae and Taylor, and she also has a YouTube channel at Janae and Taylor, JENEE and Taylor. That is also her she also does fashion content and beauty content, which is a little iffy because a lot of people are not counting African American girls or African American content creators that do like fashion or lifestyle content or whatever. But I do think they should be included under the beauty umbrella term. The next African American beauty influencer is Makeup Shayla. She is on TikTok and she does makeup content and fitness content as well. You can follow her at Makeup Shayla. The next beauty influencer is someone that I found on YouTube. Her name is Sydney Black. Sydney with a C, CYDNEE Black. And she is an African American beauty influencer, and she does makeup, and she does have blue eyes, which I would say will make her stand out, because in the African American community we don't have that many people with that. She does have a condition, and she does talk about this on her YouTube and stuff like that. She's a brown skinned woman, and she's on YouTube, and y'all should go check her out. The next beauty influencer we're gonna talk about is Ruthie Lee. She's not dark skinned. She's like a caramel brown skin type of tone. Not even brown skin, she's like a caramel tone. But I added her in there because she is on YouTube and Instagram, and she might be on TikTok. She is African American, and she isn't the darkest creator that I've seen, but I love the way she speaks up for black content creators, and she be clocking the homophobia and the transphobia within the community. She is very an intelligent woman, and she just give you breakdowns on history and stuff like that. She's a very well-rounded content creator, so if you don't find any dark-skinned content creators, you can go follow her because she's not, ignorant. She's very insightful, and she's an insightful older woman that is on this content beauty platform. Another content creator is Jania Aaliyah. She is on YouTube, and she is based in ATL. She does hair content. She got some skincare videos on her YouTube as well, but I mainly seen hair content on it. Never mind. I will say this at the end of the video. Another content creator is Makeup Doll. She is from Atlanta as well, and she does makeup routines, skincare videos, and hair videos. This is all I have for today, and I have a question. Do y'all think that wig influencers and fashion influencers are considered in the beauty content creator? I understand that people don't want to include fashion influencers into the beauty content, but I think if you're like a skincare influencer or you do like hair influencing or whatever, I do think that could be under the beauty content creation, because I wouldn't say beauty is subjected to makeup or whatever, right? Because there are women that do nails. There are nail girlies who do nails, press on nails, design nails and stuff like that, but they're not put in the beauty content. But I think if it's beauty, if it's like cosmetic, when it comes to wigs, hair, and I would say hair care, natural girlies that do content creation, I would call them beauty or lifestyle influencers, because they actually teach you how to take care of your hair. I can do a separate video on the beauty content creators that I watch, and it's not just gonna be African American girlies, it can be Caribbean African girlies, because they do give like some really insightful tips on how to take care of your natural hair. And we do have natural hair girlies in the community and stuff like that, but they are in their own niche. They are. But let me know y'all thoughts on that. Do y'all think wig influencers and like nail influencers are a part of like the beauty umbrella when it comes to beauty content creation? Like, let me know y'all thoughts on that. And here's a message to the smaller African American beauty content creators. Comment on my video. If you come across my video, push your platform in the comments, because I do think we need more of us in the beauty content creator space. And I am very open up to following more beauty content creators who are African American. And I don't like diaspora words at all, but I think we as the Black diaspora need to learn how to have conversations without being xenophobic. There is room for all of us to be represented in content spaces, and that is something that we need to focus on. So for the African Americans that find this video, remember that lighter complexion African Americans or mixed African Americans aren't the only people that represent us. If we can support dark-skinned creators that are African and Caribbean, then we can do the same thing for dark-skinned African Americans. And make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all later.